would you support the legalization of polygamous marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would support it. I mean, I would, definitely support that. Because I believe let people live the way they want to live, and make decisions based upon however they want to live. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
How many people is like the max do you think that could be in like a polygamous marriage?
Good question. I don't know. I feel like 10 is a solid number.
Like, once people start marrying, like, shoes or cars, like, then it's like, I don't know about that,
Don't
I
marry
know
a
people who would
shoe.
marry their dog if they could.
Well, marriage alone is difficult and confusing. So if you start adding to that, it seems to be a bad idea.
Sarah Stock for Rebel News. I'm in Echo Park in Los Angeles, California. Americans are prepping for an election coming on November 5th, but Californians especially have a lot of propositions on the ballot they'll have to be voting on. One of those propositions is Proposition number 3. They're sugarcoating this law as a sort of right to marriage law, but guess what? Of course, same-sex marriage has already been legalized in the United States for a while now, and especially in California. So this law isn't changing anything when it comes to same-sex marriage, but what it does is it codifies the right to marriage as a constitutional right in the state constitution without defining what marriage is, which leaves the door open for legalizing things such as polygamous marriage, child marriage, incestuous marriage, so on. Who knows what else? This is California. It gets pretty crazy over here. Kelly Chang Rickett is a family law attorney and a constitutional law attorney, so she is an expert on topics such as this. She's amassed a big social media following talking about legal jargon and a lot of these loopholes that leftists use with the law to try to push their agenda through using vague terminology. So she's been raising the alarm about Proposition 3. Here's Kelly.
So I think the biggest misconception that I've heard out there is that Prop 3 is the gay marriage bill. Mm-hmm. It's not the gay marriage bill. Gay marriage has been protected ever since Obergefell, which is the Supreme Court decision that came down in 2015. So it's not the gay marriage bill. That is already completely legal everywhere. And so I think instead, Prop 3 is a disguise for something more dangerous. Right. So actually, they're trying to amend the California Constitution to read marriage is a fundamental right. And that's it. That's it. Marriage is a fundamental right. It means absolutely nothing, which is, I think most people wonder, well, if it means absolutely nothing, why are they trying to put it into the law? Yeah. So that's a very good question. And that's what you should be concerned about. Because usually laws are written to prescribe, which means to prohibit something. Mm-hmm. So like, for instance, you shouldn't drink and drive. You can't get married under the age of 18. Why? Because they want to protect children from, being abused. Or laws are written in the positive, like the affirmative. So like in divorce law, you have an obligation to support your wife and your children when you separate. You have an obligation to support your family. But something like marriage is a fundamental right, that is not a law. That is just a blatant, overbroad statement that means nothing. And so I think viewers should be aware that there is going to be something happening after this overbroad statement, which is they're going to start discriminating against people that actually believe in the institution of marriage, like Christians, so it's very dangerous.
And I know that California Family Council has been kind of raising alarms about Prop 3, saying that they're going to be able to use this to open the door to legalizing things like polygamy, like incestuous marriages. Do you think that's something that could actually happen in the state of California?
Absolutely. There's already certain counties that are pushing for polyamorous marriages to be legal. And it is not in the best interest of children to come from homes with multiple parents. It's very dangerous for them. Not to mention, speaking from the experience of I've been doing divorce for 25 years. Yeah. Polyamorous relationships rarely stay intact. I mean, that's the whole reason that they want to have multiple partners. And so splitting up is going to be a massive headache. I mean, I just worry for those kids. It is not in the best interest of those children.
We've seen a lot of crazy ideas start in California, but just spread all over the Western world. So who knows, maybe polygamous marriage could be the next one. It could start with this law right here, Proposition 3. But who knows, maybe polygamous marriage is already starting to become normal. We've seen a big media shift recently where some of the most popular movies this year, like that movie Challengers, have seemed like they're trying to normalize polygamy. Do LA natives think this is normal? I don't know, maybe they do. Let's go talk to them and see what they would think about legalizing polygamy in California. Would you support that, yes or no?
But is it illegal currently?
So it's not currently legal?
Oh no, it's not legal.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Yeah, I don't see why
I don't
not.
give
How many people is like the max do you think that could be in like a
Oh,
polygamous
that's actually
marriage?
a good
Oh.
question.
I mean, I
Should
guess
we
for like
max that?
health insurance purposes, you know, like you don't want like 10 people on like one guy's plan. Max?
I don't know. I feel like 10 is a solid number.
That
I
seems
think
like
You think like 9 though? Like 9 people
I-
in polygamous marriage?
as long as you're in the single digits. I think once you got 10,
Think
you're,
they'd all
you're
stay
looking
together?
like- yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be messy. Would it work out?
Maybe.
You know, but that's
Maybe
what
if
we
they
got
had
divorce
like
for.
different houses, you know? Don't share a bed. That's too many people.
Guys, we've talked to the first people we spoke to, and they said they were fine with up to 9 people in a polygamous marriage. So this is our standard here. We'll see if there's anyone who has more of a stricter definition of marriage in Los Angeles. Would you support the legalization of polygamous marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say is like the max amount of people?
Oh, that's a really good question. I have no idea, I'm gonna be honest, but also like, I don't think it matters. Just like, people should just be able to do whatever they want.
I was talking to some people earlier, and they told me like 10 is their max. But I don't know if that's...
I don't know if I could like pick a number because it feels like at that point it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would support it. I mean, I would, definitely support that. Because I believe let people live the way they want to live, you know, and make decisions based upon however they want to live. I don't know.
What would you guys say? Do you think there should be a limit on the amount of people who can get married in that sort of scenario?
Yeah, it's too many. 3 is too many for you. 2 is too many for you, based upon your dating history. I guess
On
it's
your
like
dating
I guess it's
history.
like a dating record, right? Like a credit report, like a dating report. You know what I mean? Like, your last exes, they don't like you.
Yeah, you're not stable enough. You
Yeah,
cannot
like a
stay.
440, you know what I mean?
Would you support the legalization of polygamous marriage?
I don't know enough to really say, but I would imagine so. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, I talked to a few people today. They said they would support it, but they think there should be some limit on like the number of people. I don't know. Are you kind of in that boat?
Fascinating. I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
Not sure.
This is a fun new thought experiment.
Would you support the legalization of polygamous marriage?
No.
No.
Well, marriage alone is difficult and confusing. So if you start adding to that, it seems to be a bad idea.
So have you guys heard of Prop 3 in California?
No.
No.
No? Okay. So basically they're calling it like a right to marriage law. So, you know, they're saying it's a right to like gay marriage, whatever, but
Yeah.
obviously that's already legal. But what they're doing is they're not really defining the term marriage, so they're leaving like a very open definition. So there's lots of lawyers who are coming out saying, okay, so this could be used to legalize more forms of marriage, but no one really knows about this yet. So the question is like, you know, would you support that? Should we have like some kind of solid definition or like
think so.
some kind?
Yeah.
Because
I think
people are super weird. And then, like, once people start marrying, like, shoes or cars, like, then it's like, I don't know about that, you know?
part of me wants to say do you, but also please seek
Be
help.
some standard. Some.
Yeah, don't
I
marry
know
a
people who would
shoe.
marry their dog if they could. And I think we should draw a line there.
Do you think if it did become legalized that we would be seeing lots of polygamous marriage or just a
No,
little?
There's not enough of that going on. Not here, but it's not really the vibe here.
You don't think so?
Not in LA, no. I think people are pretty progressive here, and that's not progressive at all. That's
So, like, I was talking to people. They're saying they think there should be some standard, like probably just other people who are adults, probably a limit on the number of people. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, definitely adults, for sure. But yeah.
I'll tell you this. If kids are being parented, that kind of stuff doesn't matter. It's the safety issues and being taken care of the right way is and what I mean by that, safe, food, water, schedule, no madness at the house. But I don't know. Maybe it probably would be confusing because these kids go to school. So what do you tell the other kids?
Yeah, like I have like 4 moms and 5 dads or
that
something.
causes issues. And I think we've all seen that doesn't work either. The more issues, not good.
Good thing Echo Park hasn't received a busload full of Haitians anytime recently, because these geese, I'm not sure they'd be safe. If you would like to see more reports like this exposing the craziness that's going on in California, please head over and fund our independent journalism at rebelnewsusa.com.